I'm taking a break from video content. That includes watching content, but also creating content. I've recognized over the past week or so, I've become more emotional, maybe a bit more raw. I think one thing we none, I think one thing many of us don't expect, even though we hear it so many times, that's midlife crisis. Many of us, we just think maybe we're too intelligent for a midlife crisis. It won't affect us. I think it has affected me. I recently, like very recently, had my 42nd birthday. It's now 42, and it does make you look at life. It makes you look at life quite profoundly. The people in it, where you want to be, where are you now. It makes you question everything. Add that to the fact that I'm not very good in the winter. I hate winter. I hibernate in the winter, but it gives me like seasonal depression. I absolutely hate the cold. I don't do well with the cold. And I don't like the fact that it's dark so quick all the time. It's just it just ruins the mood. There's nothing to do. It's horrible. I don't like it. So you've got two things culminating together. A video come up today, and I've heard of this quite a lot on my journey, and that's the fact that when we celebrate New Year's on the 1st of January, it actually isn't the new year in the actual calendar. It's actually in spring. And when I heard this a while ago, I just thought that makes sense because spring is when I come to life. Like literally, I have a lot of projects on the go and a lot of creativity in me, and it oozes once March comes. Boom! You see, I get productive. Like I get productive. It's crazy. But before that, I have these lethargic moments, and the moments when maybe you get a bit depressed, you get a bit fed up. It's really about questioning things and positioning yourself ready for the new beginning, which effectively is the new year, which comes in March as opposed to the 1st of January. So it stands to reason that when you set these New Year's resolutions just straight after Christmas, life still feels heavy. It doesn't feel like this new breakthrough. The breakthrough doesn't come till spring. And then I look at my life and I'm thinking, yeah, everything happens in spring. So I'm going to share a little video here. And I think the guy was spot on. I feel tired, but yeah, I feel a pressure internally and maybe even externally. I don't really care about external pressures. But within myself, I feel like I need to be productive. I need to be productive. So there's this pressure from myself that you're not doing what you need to do. You need to do it. And then I'm still not doing it. But yeah, I know within myself that come March, when the spring really comes to life, I come to life. And literally, I get an awful lot done. I get excited. It makes me really, I feel like a new lease of life, like the flowers are blooming. So what I recognize, of course, within that is if I keep creating content, it's not going to be the best version of myself. It's not going to be that from a space of inspiring, trying to uplift people. It's more a place of internal processing, which is in itself is good sometimes, and I think it can be therapeutic to people who also need to do that, and maybe it liberates them to see other people maybe experiencing something similar. But we can go down a rabbit hole here of doom and gloom because what we do, we end up holding people accountable um, for things that happen in our life and the impact it has on us and those connections. But also, there's a need for forgiveness, which will maybe come in the springtime when you have a bit of a moment of reflection, a bit more. I hold people accountable, perhaps to a deeper level than they maybe deserve. Maybe it's unfair, but it's up to us to process life how we choose to. If you hold people accountable for something, it's up to us, isn't it? It's like sometimes we do need to find a way to forgive, though, and I'm not sure. Like, for instance, within my spiritual journey, I've asked Spirit, just give me give me the wisdom. Give me the wisdom to find peace and forgive through the situation because at the moment I can't. Um, and I hope it happens, but I can't guarantee it. I'm not going to talk about personal situations, but it does get a bit frustrating. Um, but at the moment, I feel quite righteous in the decisions I make and how accountable I hold people, and I don't. So there's a part of me that obviously, we all sometimes wish for maybe a different outcome, a different life, a different this, a different that. But I never although the circumstances aren't always what I want, I always do things from my highest good and from a place of purity and justice. So even if maybe I could forgive in this situation, if I feel like duty bound not to forgive, like if it feels an internal mandate for me to say this needs to be held accountable, then even though I obviously would wish for a different outcome and it wasn't got to that, I don't resent or regret anything I do. So I'm not someone that sits there and ponders whether I should have done that, whether I should have done this. I'm very righteous in what I do. So when I set a boundary, it's a firm boundary. It's only if like spirit or a new revelation comes to me and it says, look, find a way to forgive this. And then I start to look at different angles, and then I can maybe find a way to forgive and transcend a circumstance, then great. Otherwise, it's holds true and holds firm. So when I say about like forgiving people, is sometimes it's about looking at the circumstances, look at the life they've had, what the outcome would be. I always find it quite interesting. If anybody, it's going to be a bit rude, but I always find it quite interesting. If you look at a porn star, for instance, it's like they're comfortable being violated, but when it comes, and I find it quite interesting, they're comfortable being violated, but when it comes to kissing, they consider that too intimate, and it makes me laugh. It's like the act of kissing is too intimate, but having yourself penetrated isn't. It's like, that doesn't make sense to me. And I look and I just think that doesn't make sense. It doesn't correlate. That's actually crazy. How can that make sense to anybody? But yeah, and I think that's how some people, and sometimes you have to correlate that to other people and say, maybe some people don't consider like sex that personal, whereas I do. So maybe I hold it too more sacred than the average person. I don't know. But yet, when it comes to kissing, if that's the line to cross, it's like that's the other way round. Surely, I find it mental. So I want to share a video just about this equinox thing. So I think it might give some people some insight. Now, this is a green screen behind me. I packed it all away. I was like, I'm not doing any more videos for the time being. It's going to be a couple months now. I need to detox. Like I said, I need to get away from doing videos all the time. I talk on often about my book. I've been playing a video game and it's consuming. I played like 40 hours in 5 days, and I don't even feel bad for it. I've loved every part of this. It's reached the point where I've got through a whole story section. There's been a huge set pieces, and now it's transcended onto a new area. And for me, I've like, oh, good, that gives me pause because I don't want to burn it out, you know. But anyway, I'm just trying to show other areas of my life. So I've been really enjoying that, and I don't feel guilty for the enjoying my life. If that's something I enjoy doing, I'll do it. But I talk an awful lot about the upcoming books I have working, and I've said as well that I don't do well. I don't like working on projects in the winter, but I say March is when I'm productive, but February is when I start getting inspired, and it's March is usually when I take action. But it can still happen towards the end of February. But I'm starting to feel like the creative, the want. That's the weird thing, the want to actually get back working on this book. And sometimes I don't want to. So that's the winter side of me, doesn't want to. No matter how much I feel I should, I won't. But now I'm feeling like, I want to get it done. I want to work on this now. Push, because what it is, I like to spend certain periods of the year doing different things, and then it pushes me. It's almost like a comfort zone, pushes you outside the comfort zone. It tests me. It's a challenge. So if I just work on my books all the time, it only challenges one section of my life and my abilities. It doesn't push me outside my comfort zone. So I'll take time away, for instance, to record an audio book, to do audio. I also take time to do my videos. There's all different things. Then there's a time when I think you need to relax, you need to rest, you need to enjoy yourself. And I don't care if it's considered lazy, because in those periods you're still doing different projects. But then the time comes back round where let's focus on the written word. Let's do some work. Let's get to work on this now. That's what I'm saying. So that the videos will slow down, or even they're going to stop, because I know I need to detox from it. I need time away, process my own thoughts, not be influenced at all by others for a period, while I determine what I want to say. What's on my mind? How can I put this into a way that will help people? And that's how I'm doing it. But so I'll be working on the book instead of videos. That's what I'm saying. A long-winded way of saying it. Let's get to this guy. Good video. Make sure it's all set.
Of you that don't, if the calendar were 13 months instead of 12, every month would be 28 days. Every month would start on a Monday and end on a Sunday. And we would actually start the new year closer to when the new year actually starts, which is at the spring equinox, not in the fucking dead of winter. So the reason I bring that up is we have all these New Year's resolutions in the dead of fucking winter, when we should be at rest, allowing things to die. So if your New Year's resolutions are getting tiring, I know they have for me, that's why I'm not posting as much on here, and my videos maybe aren't as energetic. It's time to rest. Give yourself the grace to rest and to allow old patterns to die and to allow yourself a little bit of a hibernation period. And in that, as we start getting closer to spring, start formulating where you want to be and what your trajectory is for this next year. But give yourself some grace. We're in a period of rest now.
So, like I say, I always do rest in these periods, but I put undue pressure on myself, and I think going forward in life, I intend to maybe be a bit more easier on myself in those periods and understand it more. That it is, I'm already aware that I hibernate, but I think it's giving myself that grace to say it's okay to hibernate. That's expected. You're supposed to rest. Um, So someone's commented this, so maybe that's when the equinox is. Someone's put my birthday's on the March the 29th, which is 9 days after the equinox. So it seems like the equinox is maybe March the 20th. So that's interesting. Worth keeping an eye out for that. Look out for your mood swings. How is it fluctuating? How are you feeling today? And look at how you're feeling leading up to maybe March the 20th. Because I know within myself how I always am. I start. It's like a flower blooming. I bloom just like the flowers. It's crazy. And I think but maybe think of it like flowers and trees and things. The fact that everything else calms down and dies down and like preserves itself. It's weird as humans we don't allow that dignity and that grace period to do that. So yeah, I think we need to be easy on ourselves, and I don't think our social conditioning allows that for us. We haven't been taught that, have we, to rest? And I think we need to. Um, yeah, it did occur to me if the world ever changed to maybe a 13-month year, and it's 28 days per month, like he's saying, it would ruin everybody's birthdays because there's going to be birthdays that get screwed right over with that. But no, maybe look at it like that. Stop worrying so much about a New Year's resolution and being so perfect coming into a new year when a new us is being birthed, and give ourselves enough grace to get it through to March and then look at your life and where it's heading. And I think we should be in a better place by then.